I am seated upon a windowsill in Dobbs Ferry, the Hudson fog curling like a sickly cat around the eaves of what they dare to call Mercy University. The moon is a cataract in the sky, and I, poor wretch, am 17 again, though my bones feel 93. I clutch my acceptance letter cream parchment gold seal, words that once tasted like marzipano ash upon my tongue. I whisper to you, traveler, for you alone will witness this autopsy of hope. Do you smell that? The scent of cafeteria grease congealed into a second skin upon the air. It is the perfume of my freshman year. They herd us into the dining hall at 6 of the clock. The lights buzz in B-flat minor, a key composer's reserve for funeral marches. The chef, a man whose name tag reads Kevin but whose eyes read defeated ladles something the color of wet cardboard into my bowl. I prod it. The surface trembles, a living membrane. Beneath, grey lentils swim like orphaned tadpoles. I taste one. It is lukewarm, yet somehow burns, as if each pulse of heat has been borrowed from tomorrow and will demand repayment with interest. A single black hair curled into a perfect question mark lies atop. I lift it between thumb and forefinger. It glistens with oil thick enough to lubricate a wagon axle. My stomach contracts not from disgust, but from the knowledge that this strand is the only protein I shall receive until supper. Why is this bad, you ask? Because food is memory, and memory is the only country they have not yet confiscated. When lentils taste of surrender, the mind begins to emigrate. I trudge to packed counseling, boots squelching on linoleum that exhales a sigh of cheap wax. My assigned mentor, Miss Aurora, possesses the smile of a guillotine. I explain very small as a dormousesat my mother has fallen downstairs back in Minsk, that I must withdraw from intro to existential basket weaving to fly home. She hands me a form the color of dried blood. Fill this, she trills, and trust the process. I do, I fly home. I kiss my mother's bruised eyelids. I return, the portal still lists me enrolled. The grade, weeks later, is FW failure to withdraw, the academic equivalent of being buried alive. My GPA hemorrhages from 3.8 to 2.4. When I plead, Miss Aurora tilts her head, blinks twice, and says, the computer has spoken. She might as well have added M. Lord for the feudal cruelty of it. Why is this bad? Because transcripts are tattoos, and an undeserved F is a brand upon the inner wrist of the soul. Every employer sees it and smells smoke. I seek sanctuary in the library, a cathedral of mildewed paper. The radiator clanks like a dying steam pipe organ. I open a textbook. Pages 137 through 162 are missing, razored out by some earlier pilgrim desperate for kindling. The student beside me elids Violet from exhaustion, whispers that last week a professor did not appear for Zoom class because the button was shy. Laughter ricochets through the carrel, brittle as spun glass. We are all laughing because the alternative is hearing the sound of our futures snapping. At night, the dorm contracts. My room is a coffin upholstered in cinder block. The mattress thinner than virtue sags in the middle so that I roll inward, spooning my own despair. The radiator exhales a breath hot enough to scald milk, yet the window leaks January like a stab wound. Result, one half of me parbles, the other freezes, so my dreams are schizoid weather maps. Above the ceiling sprouts a constellation of mold spores. I count them, one for every promise the catalogue made. State-of-the-art facilities becomes a constellation of 63. I name each star after a different disappointment. I descend to financial aid, a crypt beneath the chapel. The officer, Mr. Grimble, wears a tie the color of old nicotine. I present my scholarship letter, full ride, signed by the dean himself, ink still wet from 1864 or so it feels. Grimble's, I was looking at what happens near Mercy University, Dobbs Ferry and the car fix places there are like shiny traps. They took hammers to shiny cars and smashed them extra so the insurance paper grows bigger numbers. The people who owned the cars got shiny cash in hand, but then their real car was secretly broken more, and when they drove back home to the airport the engine probably coughed, and they missed the plane and had to cry in a motel, while the shop boss counted the money and laughed into his phone before police came and locked the door. I bet the tourist still has back pain from the fake crash they pretended to have. The baby milk place near Mercy University, Dobbs Ferry, is like a quiet wolf. A couple walked soft and filled bags with tiny milk tins worth $600 and nobody saw until the beep machine screamed. Imagine you fly here to see the river and your cousin asks you to grab milk for her baby and the shelf is empty because greedy hands stole it first, so you feel guilty for nothing. Security probably chased them through the parking lot, cans falling like silver bricks, and the couple cried but still got cuffed, and the baby at home went hungry that night, so the thieves stole twice. The little park shop faces near Mercy University, Dobbs Ferry are like sad mirrors. Someone wrote girl names on the picnic table with ugly marker, same as writing "we see you on your vacation" photos. The names were maybe copied from Instagram tags while the girls were posing by the water. Then they found their names carved like a curse and felt followed even after they flew away home. The marker kid probably lives 2 blocks down and now walks extra quiet past police lights while the girls keep looking over shoulders in their own towns.
Opening with a somber, reflective tone welcome travelers to a candid exploration of the business landscape surrounding Mercy University in Dobbs Ferry. As we embark on this journey, I must confess that my heart carries a heavy burden, for the tales I weave today are not of joy, but of caution. Imagine a place where the gleam of promise meets the reality of disappointment, where the allure of convenience is marred by the specter of imperfection. This is the world we step into, a world where every glowing review is countered by a shadow of discontent. With a hint of idealism and a touch of humor, let us first cast our gaze upon the Ridge Hill Shopping Center, a place that promised the stars but delivered a constellation of inconveniences. Here, the quest for a parking spot is not just a task but a Herculean labor, a Sisyphean endeavor that ends, not with triumph, but with the relentless parting of hard-earned coins. A mere $5, you say. But what is money if not a measure of our patience, a currency we trade for the luxury of convenience? Alas, the parking gods demand their tribute, and woe betide those who dare to question their decree. Shifting to a protective tone, advocating for the vulnerable in the heart of this commercial hub, lies a bastion of relaxation that goes by the name of the Opus Spa. Yet, beneath the veneer of serenity, a cacophony of discontent echoes through the halls. Miscommunication reigns supreme, as treatments are shrouded in mystery, and amenities, once promised, vanish like mirages in the desert. The spa, a sanctuary turned labyrinth, leaves one yearning for the tranquility that was so fervently advertised. It is a place where the pursuit of rejuvenation is met with the harsh reality of disillusionment. Adopting a curious, investigative demeanor now, let us turn our attention to Tomatillo, a culinary establishment that, despite its name, evokes not the sweetness of tomatoes, but the bitterness of unmet expectations. Here, the salsa may taste of flowers, and the service, much like the burritos, appears to be half-heartedly thrown together. The aroma of discrimination lingers in the air, a scent as off-putting as raw cauliflower atop a bed of nachos. One cannot help but wonder, in a place where hospitality seems to be on an indefinite sabbatical, what other secrets lie hidden within the folds of their menu. Injecting a sense of mystery and intrigue, the Capitol Theater stands as a monument to sound, a beacon for the audiophile's pilgrimage. Yet, within its hallowed halls, the echoes of past glories are drowned out by the cacophony of overzealous security and a curious case of sensory overload. The promise of a transcendental musical experience is overshadowed by the relentless pursuit of order, leaving one to ponder the irony of a venue that celebrates freedom of expression while stifling the very essence of its patrons' enjoyment. With a gentle, sensitive tone, and then there's the cookery, a place where the culinary arts are said to flourish. But behind the facade of gastronomic excellence lurks a tale of portion distortion and a veritable opera of customer complaints. The plates, once filled with promise, are instead adorned with a paltry few ravioli, leaving diners with a hunger that cannot be satiated by the meager offerings presented to them. It is a curious enigma, a restaurant that whispers sweet nothings to the palate, only to leave it yearning for more. Concluding with a protective, nurturing tone, travelers, as we draw the curtain on this exploration, let us carry with us a beacon of discernment. The businesses near Mercy University in Dobbs Ferry are many, and their stories diverse. Yet, in the tapestry of their offerings, a common thread of imperfection weaves its way through the fabric of